And they say about us, there's not going to be any us anymore.
We are done,
Sis Kaloku.
Kanti.
Utla after everything that I have sacrificed for this marriage, for us, look what he said. But who asked you?
Yay! Let me introduce to you the new kid on the block. Mel La Vie is a new skincare range that recently launched. It is for face and for body. We deal with hyperpigmentation, anti-aging, wrinkles, natural glow. We also deal with dark inner areas. We target dark inner thighs, dark armpits, dark neck, dark elbows, dark knees, you name it. We also have a shaving combo. This shaving combo deals with ingrowns and shaving bumps. Both men and women can use this good quality product shaving range. We've got good actives in our product from glycolic acid, hyaluronic acid, kojic acid, and many more. You can contact us on the WhatsApp number that is popping on the screen, or you can reach out to us on all our social media platforms. We are here for all your skin needs. Hi everyone, welcome to Own Narrative Podcast by myself, Promise Makunyane. This podcast, it's about marriage and family dynamics. You know, if you'd like to be a part of our podcast, you need to write to us on the email address that is popping on the screen. Do not forget to put your number, preferably your WhatsApp number, so that we can contact you once we vet your story. Guys, as you already know, we do have a new podcast called The Working Wife, The Working Woman Podcast. It airs every Sunday at 6 p.m. And pretty much that podcast, it's about women working, whether you are inside marriage or outside marriage. We truly, truly believe that women should work. It's nice to have a man do stuff for you, but it's even nicer when you can do stuff for yourself, you know. So I am hosting Inspiring Women, and inspiring, I'm not just talking about boss babes. You being a domestic worker, you being a cashier, you being whatever, your story is really valid and it's worth to be shared just to inspire another woman to say you can start wherever you are with whatever you have. Anyway, talking about the other podcast, this woman, we thought we were going to be on the other podcast. And you know, when I last night, as I was preparing for today, I looked at your email, I looked at your content. I was like, this story is worth sharing with Own Narrative Podcast. First, at least first.
Yeah.
That I forgot the gift. She brought me a gift. I forgot it in the car. But I think she will tell us about her business and people can check it out for themselves, right? I'm so sorry, I forgot it. But there are diffusers in there. There's a diffuser.
Yes. There's
and
a
what else?
diffuser, there's a room mist. And I also packed the kiddies range. So it's the lotion and the body mist because we also have a kiddies
Oh
range
my
here.
gosh. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's why I'm saying then we'll sit on the other side some other time so that you can
Yes.
tell us more about your
Yes,
business.
definitely, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Anyway, madam, welcome. Thank you for honoring us with your presence.
Yeah.
You look absolutely gorgeous. You look so pink.
Pink is the color of the day.
Yes, you look like a Barbie doll, a big Barbie doll.
Yes.
So, Palesa is your name.
Yes.
Do you mind just introducing yourself to my people?
Okay. My name is Palesa. Padi. Padi is my marriage surname, Kinyetso Hapadi. Lehloya Lelapa, as most of you know him. But I go as Palesa Cardoso on my socials, and I think reason for that is that the parties are really, really private. So I didn't want to associate myself, you know, because I knew that, of course, social media, you know, what the extent of social media can be like to a person that's private.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to involve them that much. That's why I then, you know, decided, let me just stay with my maiden surname. But, you know, still, you know, when we walk around together, people will still notice him.
Yes.
People will still, but I guess he understands now, you know,
Yeah.
but he's still a very private person.
So just to put context, you're saying your married surname is Padi.
Yes,
And
Padi.
then your maiden surname.
Cardoso.
So people know you as Cardoso.
Yes, people know me as Palesa Cardoso, yes.
Okay. Well, we do have like people that do not have like more TikToks and
Yeah.
social media. They are just predominantly on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe tell them what you do. Where do people know? Because I heard you saying you guys know me. Not everyone knows me.
Yeah,
here.
definitely.
What
not
do you
everyone
do?
not everyone knows me. That is correct. I've
Yeah.
got like a small community
Yeah.
on TikTok,
Yeah.
right? And my page is Living with Palesa. And then basically on that page, it's basically just that, my life story, you know, things I come across. And of course, like with me, I've always used humor as a safety net, you know. I've always used humor as a place to fall back on, no matter the emotion I'm going through. So
Yeah.
some of, you know, the videos, people will be like, this is so real. There's absolutely no way. Why are you always like making fun, even
Yes.
on the worst type of situations? But that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So even if I'm going through the worst time in my life, or, you know, I'm really frustrated, I will talk about that event, but I'll always find humor at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So that's how then we started out, and I don't know, it is where it is now.
I love that. So you'd say you're a content creator.
I don't even know. I'm not a content creator. I'm a businesswoman.
Yeah. Hey, please.
I'm a businesswoman. You know what? I hear people say all the time that, oh, now you're a content creator. I don't know, man. I still can't associate myself with that
Yeah.
yet, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe when the community grows bigger, then I can. But for now, I'm just somebody that just likes taking their camera and just, you know, speaking about my daily life.
But that's content creation. Content creation is taking your camera and doing something. Whether you're doing it to one person, two people, you know.
That is so correct, yeah.
Yeah. So, Palesa, you are, what is Cordesa?
Cardoso.
Are you a colored or are you
No, my dad is my dad is Mozambican.
Oh.
Yes, he has Portuguese. He's a Portuguese descendant. So, yeah, so he is from Mozambique, and then my mom is from Lesotho.
Tell us about your upbringing.
Okay, so I grew up. I was born here in South Africa, and then but my grandmother got married in Lesotho.
Okay.
Okay, she's from South Africa. She got married in Lesotho.
Which is your mom's mom?
Which is my mom's mom. And then she got married in Lesotho and she lived there. And that's obviously how my mom as well, she was born here, but that's how they ended up living in Lesotho and all of that. But when I was born, because my mom was a domestic,
Yeah.
you know, and my dad as well, like, filming, so they couldn't take care of me, you know, at a really young age. Like, I had to go live with my gran at a couple of months when I was still, like, literally an infant.
Yeah.
And then that's how I grew up in Lesotho then. But I grew up there and came back just when I was about to start my primary school life. So, but because I had my whole life in Lesotho, I used to obviously go visit a lot and all of that until I was older then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I grew up. So I grew up in there.
So when did you come to South Africa?
I came to South Africa, I think I was about the age of 8, you know, and I struggled a lot. It was such a big cultural difference between how I grew up and, of course, the language as well. Predominantly, where we are from, you know, we're from Vosloorus in the East Rand. They speak a lot of Zulu
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I couldn't understand the language, you know. And also, I didn't know what's it like as well. Now I'm with my parents who I thought, like, growing up, they were like my aunts and all of that, because I really thought that my gran was my mother.
mom.
So I just felt like I was cheated on my good life, and then I'm being dumped here in South Africa in this foreign country that I don't like it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the people. The people were unfriendly. And, you know, people where I'm from, and they are so friendly. It is such a community. And I
Yeah.
think Maheng Hujwalo.
Yes.
It is such a community where we are family. We're family orientated community. And here everybody just minds their own business, doing their own thing and all of that. So it was weird for me. And I struggled as well in school. I struggled as well in school to a point where I remember my first year in primary, which is grade 1. They told my mom that I need to go to skolo sa special kids, special needs, whatever. That's what they said to my mom. They said, I will never make it in mainstream learning.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't adapting. And then more in a little skolo sa kokasi, you know, and then my mom had to work extra hard and do whatever to take me to a multiracial school, you know, that has predominantly white teachers. And you know how they are, man. They will suss out, they will what sessions set up on, and then they discovered that the occupational whatever, you know, and to check if I'm dyslexic or whatever the case is, and they actually found that no, actually, you know what, it's just a change. You know, she's overwhelmed by the change, but she will do better.
Yeah.
And I imagine if my mom was like, Vele, okay, I would
special school. Look at us laughing. I don't think it's a laughing matter.
No, it's not. Yeah, but I mean, that's probably what would have happened if my mom didn't, you know, if she took that firsthand and said, okay, fine, let's do that. Because they were really adamant that I need to go to a special needs, you know. But yeah, when I got there to the other school, you know, things started changing and I started adapting, I guess, yeah.
What type of a mom was your mom and what type of a dad? Did you stay with your mom and your dad together?
Yes. Okay.
What type of parents were they?
Oh, man. So my dad is my dad.
Yeah.
He was always working, you know. He was always at work, working and not really present, you know. And I guess this we'll discuss probably a bit later, but he was always working. And then my mom is like, she's the OG of a business woman.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the OG. She is what has shaped me to how I think, you know, to how I articulate myself, to how I project myself. It is definitely my mother. And she's what, I think she's such a community mom. You know, she's such a community mom. And because of Oklabona Bome Baba rekisang everything.
Yeah.
That was my mother, you know.
I can imagine.
Rekisa di spinach, rekisa makwenya, honales paiza, honale all of that and all of that. So yes, she didn't probably have like a business degree, you know, but I can tell you the lessons that she has passed on to me and my little sister, because there's two of us, and me and my little sister till today. Like my little sister and I can't just sit without having something to as a business. Like we're constantly doing business because it has been tattooed in our DNA now, you know, and that's how my mom was. And it wasn't nice, I think, because sometimes we were the joke of the community.
Is it?
Yes. And the joke of the community in our age groups, you know, we couldn't do things that other kids were doing, like playing when it's time to play and whatever. We had to help our mother, you know, we have to help.
Yes, help your mom.
Help my mom. Come back.
Come back.
We are here now. We are here now.
We are doing an
we
interview.
We have arrived at the destination. Don't do that.
Join us.
Join us, please. We know you are busy, but join us. So we had to help our mom, you know, and in everything that, so we would be going to school, coming back, and then, you know, we start with the business and stuff like that. So
you would help her sell stuff.
Yes, we would. And like my mom would get to a point where she would even buy stock for us to go sell for ourselves.
Oh.
I remember, like, in order for us to buy new clothes, we had to take the ones that we have, wash them, and go relo di rekisa as the second hand. Yes. I remember we used to go to the new development areas, and where we know that they don't really have much shops and stuff like that, and we would repalame taxi and go there, and we would go with me and my mom and my little sister. Re kena house to house, you know, re rekisa, re tsamaya ka di mesekile, ka di bag, di shangani bag, you know, and we would sell like di fatugu, di vaslapa, toothbrushes, and all of that. And I just couldn't understand at the time. Honestly, I couldn't, because...
Was it torture for you because you wanted to play?
Yes, I felt like I was robbed. I felt like I was being robbed of being a child, of my childhood, because any time when we came back from school, other kids would talk about what their weekend was like. And my weekend was always the same. We would have to get house to house, you know. And at the time, of course, like we never used to understand until where we are now. And there's so much that she taught us, but we didn't understand at the time, you know. And now, even in business, like we have a thicker skin. We do. My sister and I have a thicker skin. Like we failed so many times, but we always just seem to know how to get up. And I guess it's those lessons.
Yeah.
As
a mom now, right? Looking at how your mom raised you, what do you think she would have done better? Like right now you're here saying, I'm this businesswoman because of my mom.
Yeah.
However, as a child, again, as an older person, you need to have childhood memories of you being a child.
Correct.
How do you think your mom could have done it? And this is not us saying your mom is, you know, I have a lot of stuff that my mom, I'm like, here, my mom, you could have done, you know. But now that I'm a mom, I cannot just say I'm mama wrong, because it's difficult just being a mom, you know.
For me, I think, I mean, she had to make do with the circumstances that she was given. And it was unfortunate that for us, she couldn't leave us behind, Halo Regisa. We had to go with her, because who's going to stay with us? You know, and it was unsafe, you know, the communities that we stayed, and we girls, foster us, you know. So she had to make do with her circumstances. And could the situation have been different? Of course it would have, but it wasn't, you know, and we had to accept that, you know, and I guess, like I said, it only goes with maturity in order for you to understand that, look, this is what this, because now I'm a mom now. There are certain situations that I go through that I'm like, okay.
I understand.
And now I understand. I understand, you know, and I guess it comes with maturity. It definitely comes with maturity.
And your mom and your dad's marriage?
My mom and dad's marriage is like the typical, and I don't want to sound like, it's like a typical black marriage that, for me, it has always been something that even when I grow up, I never looked upon that marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It was not a marriage that I wanted to have for myself. So much so that it was so imperative for me to have a marriage that is different from what my parents had.
I hear you.
Yes, because I know how that affected, you know, how me and my sister see marriages, see relationships, you know, and there are some things that, you know, could have been avoided because of that marriage. So they were there for each other financially.
Okay.
You know, and
what do you mean financially?
And I mean financially in a sense that my dad was a breadwinner.
Okay.
You know, and but then my mom, she had a really good, strong black woman, but because they had not had that unity in the marriage, I felt like if they were working together in that sense, there's so much that we couldn't have went through.
Yeah.
Like there's certain situations that we could have not went through if they had like a different type of marriage. Yeah.
You mentioned that your dad, now we're dwelling so much on your upbringing. Is that fine?
Yeah.
You mentioned that your dad is a breadwinner, right? Yeah. However, you mentioned how your mom worked as if she was, to me,
she,
what
like
you're
she
saying.
was a single.
Yes.
Like she was a single mom. That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. It's just the way things were in my family. Like when I say breadwinner, I mean like in a way that you provide a roof, water, and the basic. Yeah.
Okay.
But everything else, my mom had to see that me and my little sister, you know, have them, you know, everything else.
What is your fondest memory of your childhood? Of your dad?
Of my dad?
Yeah.
There's a lot, man. One thing about my dad that I always thank God for him is how he is such a carefree dad. And I don't know if it comes with his culture as well. Like he's not like your typical strict dad that you cannot speak to.
Yeah.
You know, my dad has always been a person that you can literally talk and have no filter.
Yeah, that's my dad. Yes.
No filter.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't like if, my dad is like that.
Yes.
I'm unhappy and whatever. It was actually, it's different because with my mother, this was not the case.
No.
You
No,
know,
you don't fly with the moms.
you don't fly, it was not the case until, of course, now that we are older and whatever. But with my dad, there were no filters
Yeah.
for me and my sister.
Yes.
And she yeah, like he brought us, like brought up, woo, Sile. Come back. Yeah, and that's how he raised us.
Yeah.
He raised us to a point where when I got married, it was such a big difference because not all families do that.
Yeah.
Not all families behave like that.
What was he doing?
No, no, I mean, like, in a sense that not all families behave in a way that as a woman you can
talk to your dad like that.
Talk to your dad like that.
I hear you.
As a woman, like, he gave us the platform to be ourselves.
I hear you.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Like, you can. My dad doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care. Even if other people speak about his family, he's still, like, he doesn't have this thing, abantu bazothi.
Yes.
And for me, I love that about him because he gave us the opportunity to be ourselves.
I think that is a very important, and that is one thing that I love about my dad, that I would rather, if I'm in trouble or I'm feeling a certain way, my dad is my go-to than my mom.
Yeah.
And that has made me to have confidence in myself,
Yes.
So, and especially if you have that with your dad as a woman.
Yes.
You are going to be much more better than you not having that kind of relationship with your dad.
Correct.
As much as he was not that model for you marriage-wise, but that is my dad.
Yes.
And I will choose him over and over.
That is definite. I will choose him over and over because I'm so comfortable around him.
Yeah.
And that for me is better than anything else.
That's so important for girl children.
Yeah.
I would always tell my husband that if I would call one man now that will come here now or that will listen and stay an hour of me talking, that's my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not say, oh, how can you say that? Why did it, My dad will always say, if you are now in opposition with my child, I will stand with my child and listen to what my child is saying first.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're wrong or
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
That's just my G.
Yeah. And also, like, having no filter, like, in a sense that no matter how bad or how messed up you are at that moment, knowing that you have somebody that will still be by your corner to say that, look, promise, I you've messed up, but let's try and fix it. That's how my dad was. That's how my dad was.
Did he pass?
No, sorry, that's how my dad is.
Oh,
sorry.
Kira
That's how my dad is.
Yeah, that's a very nice relationship for a girl child to have with their dad,
Yes.
So now you are older, you get married.
Yes. Okay. So then I grew up, of course, and I went to varsity.
Yeah.
And I was doing my second year at varsity, and that's when I met my husband.
Oh, how many years ago?
This year we're celebrating 10 years married. 15 years together.
Sure.
Yeah. So then I met my husband. Then I was doing my second year in varsity, and I was like, I was so in love, like childishly in love, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was with my husband and I. It was like, there were so many things that stopped us from being together. One of them being the different in our backgrounds, different culturally, different in our thought processes. But we still were we kept coming together, and I guess, like, for me, that was what was interesting about our relationship.
Yeah.
So we dated, and then we finished. I didn't really finish varsity, but then I left varsity, and then then he did the lobola. We had miscarriages before.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had 2 miscarriages.
One after the other.
2, no, like, as in 2 miscarriages after following each other. Yeah, that's
Sure.
correct. But okay, it's just quickly on the miscarriage part. So after varsity, he went back home. I also stayed with my parents because he was still living at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Where's home for him?
For Suras as well.
Okay.
Ne? He went back home, Adula. But then, Onadula ko habo, kahari. And then I was like, because he was so used to coming to me, Koskolong.
Oh, yes.
So now I go and I gotta go now. My mom
strict.
And my mom is I'm a PK. My mom is a pastor.
Oh no,
like a zone pastor. Yeah.
Okay.
So I gonna go like watla skolong, you know, and obviously we see each other often, like at the weekends and stuff. So now me now moving. From school now going back home. Lena, so rotlo bonana kai.
Mama chwatle.
Oh hell no. That absolutely not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just like o tla me o batle room he abut.
Yes.
O tla me o batle room.
I don't keep it there very nicely.
Go the time I tlotswa ko habo. Because ke mona like now one thing about me is that ha ke bona ka re singesa nako ke actor he kaloko. Ke actor.
Yeah.
So ke mona because I've been speaking to him about it. I'm like, so I can't keep coming to your parents' house, you know. Also, when I have to wake up in the morning, like it's weird, you know. I'm a girlfriend, you know. So I was like, so nang fakarete ya hai.
Batung.
Yeah.
Wanana Lesotho.
Na. Hey. Na ne dula mo maswele mo.
Yes.
Le no, che. Nka yentsha no.
Please. Yes.
So I'm fakarete ya hai ha khola mo. Be ke tla mo jwetsa he hore e o tla tsamaisa ha yo on se shelter cruiser. Ona khola nyana. A se di feme. A khola ka beke.
Yeah.
Like he was getting paid weekly, yes. And then I used to save up some money so that I can buy furniture and things that we are going to use. Go room. You know, I remember buying a bed and then leaving it there. That time my mom doesn't know that this girl
is fixing her home.
She's fixing her home. So I'm busy buying the 2-plate stove and all of that. There's these other ones that I had to, obviously like plates and stuff like that, I had to bring home.
Yeah.
You know, and hide them.
Oh my God.
In my bedroom. So my bedroom is like, it's inside the house, but like like in my wardrobe, so no one really comes there. The other time my mom opens the wardrobe, there's boots.
I'm still with the young wife coming.
My mom is like, hey, what's wrong? Who do these things belong to? I'm like, wait a second, there's a friend of mine that she's moving, and then there's not enough space. So my mom, I know she just looked at me like, I know, you know.
Why would you even hide them?
By the time everything was together, then we went, I told him now it's time.
Oh, nice.
It's time.
Yeah.
He didn't also tell his parents because I also feel like he was too afraid to tell his parents that he's moving out. Yes. But I was like, oh, monna, now.
Actor. I've done my part.
You know? So then he moved and then we found a room and then that's how
you guys moved
we
together.
moved together. No, I wasn't staying with him. I was still staying at home.
Yeah.
But I used to visit him. And then, during that time then when we used to visit each other, that's when he then at least mahadi ko hai.
Nice.
And when he came, it was just before I was pregnant. So the reason also what speed up the process for him to come and do the lobola at my house was because of my pregnancy.
Okay.
But then I lost my pregnancy. So I was kind of shocked as, I kept asking myself to say, is he still continue with the lobola negotiations because those were supposed to be done in December and now the miscarriage happened during the course of the year. But he was adamant to say, look, I want to marry you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what he said when he met me
for the first
time. That's what he said to me. You know, that's what he said to me. He said, I want to marry you. So even at that time, after the miscarriage, he still continued, he loboled. And then after a couple of months, almost a year, we had again another miscarriage.
Miscarriage.
Yes. And then only then did we find out that I have what they call an incompetent cervix. I don't know why they say it's such a horrible name though.
Incompetent.
So
Mutlapa was civics.
what's it again?
Like
I don't know why they call it, and they don't have another name for it. I tried to Google, I tried to find. They literally call it an incompetent cervix, and that means that your cervix cannot carry a baby full term. So what happens is immediately when you get pregnant, they stitch you up. Yes, they stitch your cervix, and then when you are like at 36 months and so, then they take out the stitch.
Okay.
Then it's okay for when the baby can give
come.
birth. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
So you speak. I don't want to dwell more on like your marriage or your husband, but I want to dwell more on the separation that happened in your marriage.
Yeah.
The type of marriage you had and you guys separating,
Okay.
When you guys got together, what type of marriage did you have that led you to now separate?
Yeah, 100%. So remember when we met, I was in university.
Yeah.
So I was really young. I was like 20 at that time.
Yeah.
As I grew up, I changed. He changed. In fact, he changed. I changed. So we both wanted different things.
Okay.
I felt like the things that I used to like then, they don't amuse me anymore.
Yeah.
So I felt stuck. I felt stuck because we were married and this was the tone of our marriage. But I wanted a different tone. I wanted more. And he couldn't give me more.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Yeah.
And I stayed and I tried to carry this marriage by myself because that's how I felt. It felt like I was carrying it so hard because we are not on the same page.
Yeah.
He was okay with things the way they were, but I was not okay.
Yeah.
I wanted more. And I just kept like pushing this marriage, but and I stayed because like I told you, that family for me, it has always been my dream. If there's nothing ever that I will do over and over and over again, is family.
Me too.
I will do marriage, the concept, the principles. I stand on them. I believe in them.
Yeah.
That much, that I would rather sacrifice anything just so that this comes.
Works.
Because when I look at my parents, remember I told you about my parents' relationship and how when I grew up, I said, I want a different marriage. And that's, he could offer that.
Yeah.
He could offer that in a sense of, with the kids, with his parenting. Oh, he could parent.
Oh, yeah.
He can parent.
Yes.
He's a good
Dad,
father.
yeah.
Till today, he's a good father. But I just felt like I'm stuck. I felt like I was imprisoned.
As an individual.
And I lost it. I lost my identity. Because remember how when we met, I was so young. And remember, Lena, he was still starting life. But I focused so much on him. I focused so much on this marriage, the family, I sacrificed me.
Yeah.
As I did.
Yeah.
I did. I sacrificed me. And it's unfortunate because this dream that I had came at a cost.
Yeah.
But it comes to a point where you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's where we were during the time of the separation. We wanted different things. And then we separated. He went back home. And then I went back home. Oh,
So
going
how
back
many
home.
kids do you have
Two
then?
kaloku, son.
Yes.
Two kaloku. That time I came side, ke tlwaetse o ilaola.
Hey.
And my mom, she will tell you, hore ke haka mo. Mo ke haka. And I'm like, God, but I'm stuck now, kaloku.
What year is it?
This was in 2017. My daughter was born in 2017. 2018.
How many years into the marriage are you guys then?
I think at that point we're about 5 years.
I think the 5-year mark is the problem. You see the 5-year mark? I think that is the problem.
I was going through the most. Promise, I was going. No, I didn't see that. I never thought that this marriage would survive it. I never. Like I was sure that it was done. I remember, hey, Banna.
Man.
I remember there was a point where he was back home, and I didn't tell my parents that I'm now left alone because we were renting at that time. We hadn't bought property. So we were renting at that time, and I didn't tell my parents that he's gone. Okay. So I hadn't told my parents that he went back home.
Yeah.
Right? And it was 2 months. He's back home. I'm left. That time, my daughter was about 6 months.
Oh my God.
I'm a new boy, like a new mom.
Fresh.
What? He's back home, and then I'm alone. So I went to him because I just thought that we would fix it. I mean, we've been through so much, me and him, you know. So I thought that we'd fix it, and I went to him to go and try and fix it.
Yeah.
Chasing my man.
Yes.
My man. Arahuna uzofunanda. Kere kodwa ngizofuna ukuthi sikhulume.
Yes.
Ase sikhulume ngani? Ngise about us. There's not going to be any us anymore.
We are done,
sis kaloku.
Kanti.
Utlana. After everything that I have sacrificed for this marriage, for us, look what he said. But who asked you?
Yes.
Who asked you? Who asked you? I want to look at these people.
And please tell them.
Who asked? Who? Tell me who asked you
to sacrifice.
To sacrifice everything. Because that's what we do, promise.
Yes.
And they don't ask us. And did he lie?
He did not.
Did he lie?
Who said sacrifice your dreams?
Who said sacrifice your dreams? It was me. I put everything on hold. Let me tell you, you know that who asked you?
Yeah.
I went into the car. I started the car, and I was going back home to my place. But remember, I said his place, Habuki Fostoras as well. So Lihesuki Fostoras, but I wasn't going home. Yeah. Because I was a wreck.
Yeah.
When I came to the robot, you know the green light, the cars that are going this way. You have to wait, even when you are coming, for the ones to pass, even if it's green for you, but wait for them to pass so that you can. I just went. The car came like this. This guy, you know, he was ready to beat me up or something. He was with his friends coming out of his car. But when he saw me, I was a wreck. And I said, take me. Take me. I'm ready to die.
Do whatever.
Do whatever. Then this guy's like, sis, ofunu kufa. I was like, yebo baba, ngifuna ukufa. Actually. So do it. Because I don't have the guts. Because promise you
6 months.
6 months. And then what about this one that was like 3 years that adored
her dad?
Adored her dad. What about, I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Because I literally had no other thing I was focusing on except my marriage. You know, I remember then these guys like, where do you live? Let's take you home. One drove my car. I was a passenger. Princess. And I could only remember, I couldn't even remember where I lived. I remembered my parents' house. They took me there. Then the guy said to my mom, Sisi, umtanako uzofa. Patung, uzofa. My mom's like, what? Uzofa? What's happening? Then that's when I broke down and I told my family. As I was breaking down, telling my family I suffered an anxiety attack. I can't breathe now. They rushed me to Clinton Hospital. It was in Alberton.
Yeah.
I got there. What day in Pel?
Hey! Psych!
What in? Yaba.
Yes. Mental.
Nah. Actually, mothala toya hore. A whole me.
They don't know spirally. What not? It's okay. Why don't you go with the
Kore, I then get mole. They dragged me, they sedated me to calm down and everything.
Yeah.
When I woke up and then my father was there, my mother was there, and I said when I woke up, my mother's like, but mntanam yini? And I said, Dad, I don't know how to live without him.
Oh
Let me tell you what my dad said. That made me sober up same time.
Same time.
Same service. My dad was like, but your kids don't know how to live without you. I got up.
Like I'm a mother. Yo.
I'm a mother. Right. I went back home. Obviously, I struggled. I still struggled. With anxiety because I then had to rebuild, and I think the rebuilding process was so difficult. Promise, it was.
Yeah.
It's the most. I don't even want to lie to you guys. But it is worth it. And I was rebuilding. But at times when you are rebuilding, then you get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I remember during the now lockdown 2020, and then there's more time to think about your life. I'm like, look at me back home, single with my mom and my kids, no husband. At work, my life, my career is upside down because I don't care about it anymore. I didn't care.
Yes.
So, but now I'm rebuilding, so I get so overwhelmed. I remember there was a time then I booked myself at a B&B.
Yeah.
My mom even said, where are you going? It was Friday. I decided on that day I need to be on my own because I had so much that I needed to discuss with myself and
yourself.
God. I needed to know the plan. I needed to know my way forward. And I needed to close this chapter with my husband for good because now we're approaching a year. In fact, we were over a year now.
Yeah, separated.
Because we separated for a year and 6 months.
Yeah.
So we're like now on our second year when that happened, when me going to that Airbnb. And it was during COVID. I remember we are not allowed to travel, to hotels and stuff. And then I lied to the person that for the Airbnb. I said, I'm an author.
Oh, I'm writing.
Guess what? I am writing a book now.
Wow.
Guess what? I'm writing a book.
About?
I'm writing a book about that weekend that I was there.
Oh my gosh.
Predominantly, part of the story is about that weekend that I was there because so much happened when I got there. I remember my friend stays in Randburg. That place is in Randburg. It was the closest that I could find at the time, at a short space of time. Then my friend's like, but if you need a weekend away, come to me. And I said, no, I need to be by myself. There are certain things that you need to go through on your own. One-on-one. I got there. When I got to that Airbnb, did I not cry?
Ish.
I cried like, how loud?
Like a child.
Like a child because I couldn't. Remember, I was at home. Now my parents are going to think I'm going to go back again.
Yes.
So I couldn't. I had to keep it in. So at that point, I was free.
Yeah.
I cried until I slept. When I woke up, I said to God, I want answers.
Yes.
I need to know how to move forward now. And I wrote down every single thing that I want in my life. And touch wood, everything that is in that book is manifesting or has manifested already.
Oh, wow.
Already.
Yeah.
Some have. The business that I have, that was there in that notepad.
Yes.
When I asked about my marriage, God said it's not time.
Yeah.
And I said to God, but what do you mean it's not time? It's been I think it's way overdue.
Yeah.
And God said, no, it's not going to happen. That is not going to happen.
Work on yourself.
Work on yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do. And literally, that was the steps that I took. I worked on myself. I remember on the Sunday just before I was about to leave that B&B, I looked in that mirror in that bathroom, and I said to myself as I was looking in the mirror, I said, I am sorry.
Oh.
I looked at myself because I couldn't even look at myself anymore. And I said, I am sorry. I am so sorry for cheating you out on happiness that you deserve. I'm so sorry for neglecting you. I am so sorry for not giving you and making you a priority. And I said, no more. No more. No more would you feel like this again. Until today. So I left and then I started moving on with life. When my husband came back and wanted to fix things with us now.
Yeah.
It was him. He wants. I remember I went. And then he said, no, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Now it's him now.
Yes.
Now my biggest now challenge is I didn't want to let go of this new person that I am.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because remember, it took me a while to get to where I am. My biggest fear is that what if I get comfortable again. And I go back
Yes.
to that person?
Yeah.
I've worked so hard to get here.
Yeah.
That was my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I loved my husband.
Yeah.
But I wasn't willing to sacrifice myself
Again.
I worked too hard, you know? And I told him, we actually went to a weekend away in Hatties. And I told him, and he wanted us to discuss.
Yeah.
And I said, no, the problem is the person that you left is not the same person
It's not
anymore.
the same person.
So what are you going to do, my friend?
Down and reintroduced.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And he said that I would like to meet her. I would like to meet her. And he said that you have invested in me. You have worked, helped me.
Yeah.
It's my turn now. And guys, he's active, man.
Oh shit.
He's active, like in me pursuing my dreams, in me, in it, like the business, you know, everything, you know, the gigs that I get booked to the MC, like he's there, he's like my plus one.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
in everything.
And he's here even today. He brought her here.
So it was like that. He said, it's my turn now.
Yeah.
He's like, run after them. So I haven't stopped ever since then. I haven't stopped. I keep running and chasing and chasing. And I'm not. I don't want to get to that position where I was again. I don't.
Sure. That's powerful, you know. And I would understand why, right after I dropped the first episode of The Working Wife, The Working Woman, why you reached out to me, because your story is more like my story in a way that I think we have been called for marriage. We have been called for our families, for marriage. However, I don't think God has called us to lose ourselves and our individuality.
Not at all.
However, as wives, as women, when we get in the marriage, you get so comfortable, you know. And I also think it's because we don't really have those models like our parents. For example, my parents have been married. They're still married for 40 years or so, going into 40 years. However, they had a good marriage. My parents are having a good marriage, you know. But it's not, when I look at it and looking at me now, it won't work for me. Their dynamics can't work for me.
No, they can't.
So I'm still using my parents' dynamics where my mom, you know, and when I see my trajectory in life or in marriage, it's more like my mom's, because my mom has saved her marriage for years, compromising herself, taking, like, she used to work her whole life. However, she was not as great as she is now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, when you get in marriage, you just know that I have to take care of this man, this kids, this household, build these people. Where else you don't know, you don't see that you are slowly compromising yourself,
100%.
And yourself keeps a score, hey? You will think that you'll go, you will crash one day. And then yourself is like, hello, hi, I've been saying, see me.
You know, Promise, like when he came back and said he wants us to fix things, the anxiety that I had, you know, and I was nervous because I thought that the two can't coexist. I can't chase my dreams and still have this family that I want. And also, remember, the family that I want for myself is important to me.
Yes, just like as important.
But it's just as important, you know? But I was like, this family is so important. And I didn't think that they could coexist.
Yes.
You know, that time when we were at Hatties, those were the discussions, us navigating and creating our own marriage. Yeah, understand? And it doesn't have to be something that is the same. Yours could be different. You know, for me, my husband is okay with doing homework when he comes back from work, doing homework, taking care of the kids and all of that, while I'm busy getting perfume, you know, and I am busy with that. He's okay. Sometimes I'm the one that is doing that, you know, but we created it and we said, this is us. You know, we can't be the same as other people.
And I think also what you're saying is so important, because And I speak for the men because I want wives and women to take accountability, you know? You assume that your husband won't support you if you chase your dreams. You are assuming that your husband, no, my husband can't go back and take off the kids. You are assuming.
I love that. And that is so true because that's what I thought. And remember when he said to me, I didn't ask you.
Yes.
He didn't lie.
He didn't lie.
And the thing is, he said, but why did you?
Yes.
Why are you? And I was resenting him, promise.
That's the
I
thing.
was resenting him.
Yeah.
That's why I had so much, that's why I felt stuck. That's why I had so much anger towards him. And I realized that I directed my anger to the wrong person.
Yes.
It was supposed to come to me because I'm the one that put myself in that situation where I assumed that if I am going to start with my degree and all that, I don't have that time or whatever or whatnot. But if I could sit down and say, look, this is what I want, my man.
Yes. How can we work around
How can we
this?
work around? Yes, yes. That don't want that. But,
100.
You will never know until you sit your partner down.
Yeah. And I think that will be the decider now.
Right?
If you're going to sit your partner down and he's like, no, you're not going to sit, then now you know that this is not sustainable. You can't live like that.
You know, when we were there at that weekend away, he said that, you know what I missed was your ambition. I missed that. I missed that about you. When I met you, you had so much light.
Yeah.
And I don't know, over the years, like he even said that one of the things that made me want to get out of, it's because anytime I saw you, you were so miserable. And I kept saying, I did that to you. I did. I couldn't face myself.
Yes.
Because you had so much life, so much light. And what happened to you? He asked me, he said, what happened to you?
And you'll spend years saying, it's you did one.
Yes.
Oh, my doll. Until you sit down, you introspect and see that I have played an equal role in the misery that I am. In the not lived dreams that I am, I have played an equal role.
That is so correct. That is so correct.
And once you start living your life, guys, I cannot stress this enough. And that's why right now I'm laughing when I'll be trending that, hey, what about my marriage? I'll be laughing and I'll be like, guys, I'm in such a better place now.
I mean, thank you.
Sure.
And I think there was an episode that I watched. I don't know. I think it's That Working Woman where you were saying that it fulfills you.
Yes.
And you don't even, like, you are in a better place. And you said that you have matured since you have now tapped into your purpose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that was me. I find that even when I have content when I'm creating about my husband coming back at 4 a.m. and people are laughing and women are asking themselves and say, but how are you so calm?
Yes.
Girl, I'm busy.
I'm busy.
I don't have time.
Yes.
Girl, I'm busy. In the morning, I need to wake up and then I need to pack orders. And then later on, I have a gig that I'm emceeing.
Yeah.
Later on, I need to come back and work and then still. So I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't. And I found that we are even happier. We are in a better space with my husband. We are literally in a better space in our relationship.
110%. 110%. Like I told you, like I said on that Working Wife podcast, guys, catch up on the Working Wife and the Working Woman podcast. Like I said that it's so uncomfortable relearning. Like when you said when you were working on yourself, it was so painful, Even now, still doing me and still like chasing it's so uncomfortable because it's unlearning. The 5 years of the marriage, the 8 years of the relationship, 100%. That I feel so guilty leaving my husband for the weekend with the children. Ooh. Like I feel like I'm such a bad person. And my husband is chilled. Like, what do you need me to pack for you?
And it's us. I guess that's how we are. We are born nurturers.
Yeah.
So when you feel like you are not doing that anymore, that's what I mean. Our dynamics are different.
Place.
I can't survive without an Aussie now.
Yeah.
My life,
no.
Like she will be gone for a weekend, and I'll be like, "Yo, Aussie,
falling apart. My life is falling apart.
My life is falling apart.
Yeah.
And that's because this is where my life is right now. Will it be like this forever? Maybe not. Maybe it will be easier as the kids grow up or as my business becomes better, as my career becomes better. But for now, this is what we have to deal with. So let's make do with what we have.
And again, we've always had a nanny our whole life. If we didn't have a nanny and a domestic, a nanny and we've always had help. But you still feel as though you are leaving your husband. Like, I will never just leave my husband. I will set things in motion for him that, okay, you guys can do this, do that. But it's such a mind fuck that you like, guys, like, it's you. Like, it's you. It's you.
I used to feel so guilty, promise. I don't want to lie. I used to feel so guilty with, the kids, and I felt like I was absent, because I'm focusing too much on my career. I don't anymore, hey? I don't. And even the kids, they know my schedule. They know, like with this interview, they knew about it.
Yes.
They helped me pick out my clothes yesterday. They're excited. I know when I come back, they understand that mommy is working.
Yes.
And he understands that this is where my wife is right now.
Guys, your husband, if you'd interview your husband, if somebody will interview my husband, they will say, guys, we've never been happier than we are now when our wives are working and they're focusing on themselves. Like, guys, like, guys, when I look at myself like 3 years ago.
And I remember how you were always the damsel in distress, like you were constantly stressed.
Yes, like.
And when are you coming back?
Like, man, guys, no.
Register or present, not present. When you are busy, that's the reason. And I think for me, that's why I want to stress this even to your audience, and say that as women, like, we need to live in purpose. We need to live in purpose, because if we don't, I can promise you that's where we will be miserable.
Yes.
We will be at the point where we are marking the register. When are you coming back? When are you not coming back? Guys, if it means Avon, do that.
Please.
If it means do that. Even if it's from whatever that you are doing. If it means that you are doing your degree again, do it. But just don't sit fela. Don't sit fela.
No.
That's for me. This is my number one purpose, to preach to women, to say, don't just sit, because I know where I've been, and I know how painful that place is. I have DMs where women are coming and they are telling me their stories, and like literally, I had one that said that I stopped working. And she said she stopped working, and now and then. But their marriage is on rocky. And I said, your biggest problem is you stopped working.
Yeah.
You need to go back.
Yes. Yes.
Because no. And abua hore side cheeky, abua hore is the devil, side cheeky and whatever, and whatever. And I'm like, but what I can say is
let's tackle what we can.
Let's tackle what we can, because side cheeky we can't tackle that.
Yeah. And just in closing, we've run out of time now. In closing, I want to say, we are not saying when you are working, it's for you to mise what your husband is doing. Like, it's not like we're saying, no, because we are busy working, our husband can come at 3 a.m., can have side chick.
Yeah.
What I've noticed in my own marriage is that most of the times where I thought my husband was doing 1, 2, 3, or my husband was talking on the phone like this, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Because you had a lot of time in your hands.
Yes.
And you know what they say about idle minds?
Yes.
Idle minds. Because you had so much time on your hands. You're overthinking everything.
Like,
Can't
my
it's
husband will
something
be
that
like,
serious.
I'm at a meeting, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then in my mind already, brick follow, I'm thinking, brick follow, or most of the times I was wrong. And my husband now, I can see everything now that actually most of the times I was wrong. Like, when now he's going to a meeting, I don't even worry, and he comes back, he's happy. Mututla boa, sexy that day, or now he's looking forward to come back home.
Yes.
And have sex with
yes.
you.
And also another thing, the reason why he's finding that it's more peaceful in the home.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
Like when he comes back now, it is more peaceful.
Yes.
And also, in Turkey, they like to be the ones that are chased. If you are the one that's doing the chasing, where are you? When are you coming back? And all of that.
Yeah, like
Like, they look at your phone and be like, but never phone or patong. How's on phone Nelly?
Yes.
Like how hopole.
Yeah.
Like he's getting jealous, because he feels like I don't have that time for him anymore. It's because I'm not gonna chase anymore. I'm busy. But if you are idling, you will chase.
You will chase. And utlo chaba kere. Utlo phila sa tle ga ikanako a phila sa then wa jola. That time he's at the bar drinking. He's like, guys, not they. So guys, this is just me, especially not me in my marriage, that guys, we are in so much in a better place. And that's why I was like, my fear now, not even my fear, like my thing, I'm just asking myself that, are we gonna is this real? Is this real? Like, it's too good that maybe it won't last, Lenyalo utla le kuka ka magetla ne. Until we be fast, man, guys, we are actually great together,
You are. And it will survive, promise.
Yeah.
It will survive. Like I said, Hora, when I looked at myself, I didn't think that we would be here.
Yeah.
We were so different. We wanted so many, so different things. But we had to both do the work.
Yeah.
I think if you're both willing to do the work, then you definitely will survive.
Anyway, any parting ways to women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think parting ways is
Words.
I'm saying
ways.
Parting words is a delay. The word delay. The word procrastinate. I want you to get it out of your vocabulary. I want you to get it out of your mind. There's no time for you to say, I'll start tomorrow. You're already late. But today already you are late. You should have started yesterday. So there's no time for you, because I think that's our biggest enemy right now is us procrastinating. You have that business idea. You have that dream that you want. You want to go back to school, but you say, you're always finding excuses for yourself. That procrastination, stop it. Stop it. That's all I'm going to say.
Guys, you've heard it from Madame, who's been separated for more than almost 2 years. And then they're back together and they're building and it's nice. Guys, you know what? Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode of... Obviously, this is a Wednesday. You're going to see the next episode on Sunday at 6 p.m. And then I'll see you again on O Narrative and on Wednesday at 1 p.m. So it's a habaganchal, right? So yes, thank you so much, guys. Do not forget the goal is to reach 100K by the end of the year. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.